Hi there, Aries, and welcome to your mini reading for June 2017. These are all introductory readings to give you an idea as to my style, how I approach tarot, and whether you'd like to continue to follow my readings on YouTube here, or if you'd like to get at some point in the very near future a personal reading from me through Skype. So let's see what is in store for Aries. What I can tell you, Aries, is that the astro weather presently is really intense. In most respects, it has to do with relationships. These are like soul level relationships, people who are really important in our lives, who are also teaching us important lessons about who we are, what our character is, how we make the choices that sustain what it is that makes us happy, stuff like that. So boundaries, what else is there going on? Clarity. It's pretty foggy out there, lots of confusion. So I'm going to jump right in and see what's going on with the cards. And your first card, oh, wow, it's pretty intense. We have the Ten of Swords at the center of your reading. So let's see what happens as we progress. But this is a very tough time. So my sympathies to you. My sympathies. And your obstacle would be the Chariot. You can't move forward. You're feeling incredibly stuck right now. Stuck in what seems to be almost an impossible situation. Oh, I'm so sorry, Aries. This is not good. Aries likes to be happy. They're also very enterprising. So what's going on here? They initiate things. They inspire people. Four of Wands. Okay, well, your foundation is strong. Like at least you seem to be grounded. But in the recent past, there's been a lot of stuff that's left you pretty confused. Seven of Chalices is what appears in the recent past. So lots of distractions, lots of emotions, lots of choices. So again, we have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is restriction that's actually illusionary to you. But you're definitely feeling confined. You can't move forward. You really don't like the situation that you're in right now at all. And you're not talking about it either. You have the Four of Pentacles right here in your short-term future outcome, what have you. You don't want to talk about it. Of course you don't. You're an Aries. What do you talk about? And that's okay, you know. But you're feeling emotional, and you're feeling like you're emerging into a new emotional maturity about things. And what do people around you see? They see that you have strength. So, although in this card, it's not your traditional Rider-Waite representation, however, it is the strength card. So, the people around you think that you're being pretty strong in whatever it is that you're dealing with right like you have the strength of your convictions, or something to that effect. But you just want like this horrible feeling around the Ten of Swords, the Nine of Swords. Like this has got to stop. It's too painful all around, and you don't want any more pain for yourself or the people that you really care about. So, Aries, it looks as though you're coming into your power because the final outcome card is the King of Wands. So, as a fire sign, Aries, this is you and your full empowerment. So, this is the good news. And this is kind of what happens after we go through a period of trial. And with all the swords that are present in your reading, there's definitely a trial going on in your life right now. So, let me sort of zoom out at the whole big picture, see what I can glean from the basic cross that I've laid out, and then we're going to lay some clarifying cards with the Rider-Waite, and then I'll cap it off with a couple of cards from Lenormand. So, what can I tell you, Aries? Oh, and the atmosphere surrounding everything, I keep forgetting this part, would be the moon. So, everything is hidden. Nothing is up front. It's a very tricky time for a lot of people, and all of the signs are being affected right now. And it's really about going inside and figuring out how to stay as true to yourself, to the people around you, and to the situations that you want to bring into your life in the near future. So, in terms of getting into more specifics based on this particular layout, we've got to feel for the situation. There's a lot of anxiety around choices and a lack of clarity and a desire for movement. In terms of people that you could be interacting with, it looks as though you could be dealing with a Leo somewhere in this scenario. We also have a water sign, possibly either Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, or another fire sign. Generally, not just a Leo. The reason why I say Leo is because although many people associate the Chariot with Cancer, apparently I find that I see it as Leo a lot of the time, as well as the Sun, and of course as well as the Strength card. As in the traditional Rider-Waite, there's a lion being tamed by a woman on that card. So so there's a strong Leo influence in this reading, and also reaffirmed by the Knight of Wands in the final outcome, although I still do see this as being you. So there's fire, there's water, the air is really mainly your thoughts and processing a lot of things around people and movement, where you want to go, where they want to go, what they want to do versus what you want to do. Seems to be a lot of that right now. There's a lot of game changing going on right now. So don't be too hard on yourself as you process this. This is not something that you necessarily caused specifically. It's more about, you know, those points in our lives that are defining moments that change the course of things. We go through cycles and patches and all sorts of different So this is to clarify. Yeah. There's an element of fire here that is creating a lot of stress. Yes, it's about being empowered enough to make your own decisions, being in control of your own decisions. There's also an element of sexuality that I'm sensing. That maybe it's wanting to move forward with another fire sign in a sexual relationship. It could be the idea for a business with another fire sign, and one person wants to move forward. See, here we go. One person wants to move forward into something that's perceived as being a little bit more mature. There's an underlying foundation of family. There's some children involved in this equation somehow, and the need to address their needs for a strong, loving foundation, family, grandparents, abundance, friends. This is the foundation that exists underneath all of this angst. It's like, why is there all of this pain on top of what appears to be a really, really, really good foundation? So let's take a look at the Seven of Cups and see what's the confusion around. Is it choices? Is it just, what is it? Right? And I have the Temperance and the Four of Pentacles. So now we've got this. We've got Four of Pentacles on either side of the core of this situation. You want to move forward with a Leo. But you're keeping your cool. And you're not telling anybody about it. So why are you restricted? Well, because of a water sign. And something around the truth. There's some sort of victory with a water sign and cutting towards the truth that is part of what surrounds the situation, what's on top of the situation. So if you don't talk about it, you have a chance to really evaluate how you want to move forward, because you don't know. You really, really don't know. You think you do. And it could be the beginning of a very significant union. but it's ultimately something that you're going to have to walk away from. So let's take a look at this. Okay, so there's an offer that is coming from a water sign, or a message of some sort from a water sign. And it's combative. This is not a good thing, and there's let's get some clarity on the devil. Okay, so there could be some battles around a love offer from a water sign. Manipulative behavior. With some strength, but there's sorrow in it. And it might have to do with someone at work. So let's look at this strength in the environment. So I'm assuming that it connects back to the Leo in the center. So what's happening in the environment with this Leo, or this new sense of strength that's coming? The Emperor. It's got to be a Leo or an Aries. And there's disappointment, but a willingness to put in the work. And what's going to ease your fears about all this anxiety? I don't really know what to tell you other than let's see what the cards have to say, because this is, I'm going to have to look at this a little bit more. Yeah, this is a love triangle. This is definitely a love triangle. And those are never, ever fun. And so, what can I tell you in terms of, let's say, if you go in the direction, it looks as though this is water, this is Leo. Oh, okay. So, you're going to tell the truth. You're going to be compassionate about it. You're going to look back. You're going to find the grace to see how far you've come. Final judgment of whatever the circumstances are that are passing. And it looks as though you're going to stick with the earth sign. So I'm just going to put that there for now. And then we'll go back to the Lenormand. Then we'll introduce the Lenormand and see how that works out. So if I were to pull apart this mess that's at the center of everything that's going on, there's a sense of ruin or deep regret on your part. But you're staying graceful within whatever situation it is that you're in right now. You're keeping your cool. You want to move forward. But everything is kind of swirling, okay? It's like this is where the Seven of Cups comes. This is the residual effect, okay? All of these things that are in the center of the reading here is basically this. This is describing how you got here. So there's all these choices, all this confusion around what you're supposed to be doing. And it's like, somebody tell me, like, give me a sign. It's like, give me a sign, man. I don't know what I'm doing. But you don't want to tell anybody that you don't know what you're doing. So it's like Dorothy caught in the tornado. Dorothy's caught in this tornado. She sees the witch flying around. She sees all her books and everything going around. It's like, what the hell am I supposed to be doing right now? This is life. But the one thing that you really, really need to kind of take a look at is this is what you have right now. This isn't what you're looking towards. This is what you have right now. You have family. You have a legacy to look after. You have partnership. Somewhere in all of this, you do have partnership. There's also the possibility that there's children who are involved in this solid foundation. Nothing wrong with these cards. This is the epitome of everything that you're looking for in partnership and family right here. And it's in the foundation of your reading, which means you have it. So just saying. But you got this water sign, which is a good positive thing for you, definitely. Someone who is mature emotionally, supportive, intuitive, nurturing, all of these things. Great. There's nothing wrong with that. And Leos are fantastic people. They're very strong. They have lots of fun. They're inspiring, like yourself. They have a lot of ideas. They can make things happen. Leos and Aries go very well together. But at times you have issues around control. And so that can be tricky, but it's also sexy as all get out. So although I'm not seeing this necessarily being a circumstance of temptation, it's just circumstances. This has kind of always been here. It's kind of, I guess, coming to a head. Everything's coming to a head. And so in the restriction that you're feeling from the Eight of Swords, what's freeing you is being emotional about it, being overly emotional, allowing it to pour out. And then you actually hit the truth, as tough as it might be when it first hits. You realize that it actually is giving you the clarity that you need to move forward. So this keeping your cards close to your chest thing. Is good because it's giving you the time to contemplate how you want to approach going forward with the situation. So, and it looks as though you're moving on. From the confusion. because you're starting to see that you actually do have this, because these are both the same card. So because you're starting to see it, you're moving away from the confusion. So here is you. You are the Queen of Cups. This has got you a little sad. This has you a little, what am I going to do? I'm hurting people. I'm hurting myself. I'm thinking about putting a lot of stuff at risk, and do I really want to do that? I do, but I don't know. It drives me crazy. So the problem is that it's actually making you regress a little bit emotionally. So you're having battles, petty battles, and arguments with people. You're doubting who you are. There's something about motherhood and sorrow and the work of motherhood, the sorrow of motherhood, but also the empowerment of motherhood. So for those Aries out there who may have recently become a mom, you're learning about the realities. I have too. It's heartbreaking and joyous all at the same time, and nothing has ever torn me up more. And I love them to bits because they've enriched my life. But it's not always going to feel good. And that's okay. Don't be hard on yourself, especially if there are new mothers out there who are struggling with that. Sometimes the letdown of the reality of it. Don't worry about it. It's okay. You're going to get through it. The first 3 months are the worst. Okay? And if you've got anything else in flux, obviously you're going to be really concerned about what the future is for your family and how you're going to get there. So, in your environment, you have the Strength card again. So there's the Leo. So somewhere there's a Leo, because there we go, the Emperor. Okay, so it feels like, okay, there's a Leo out there. And somehow they've disappointed you. But it's like you're still working at it. And you both feel that it's worth it to both put in the work. So that's what you're doing. Maybe this is where the love triangle is. You've got it, and Aries is involved with a fire sign and is it an earth sign or water sign? No, fire sign and a water sign. I think that's how it's working. This love triangle is not making you feel any better. This is what's causing you the anxiety. You have to make some sort of decision that's going to bring you to the place where you want to be in this particular situation. This is not easy. And if there are children involved in at stake, and those things have to be taken into consideration, then, although the fire, you might be missing the fire of something else, at the end of the day, it's the Queen of Pentacles. It's going to be standing in that motherhood, embracing the foundations that you have for a family, and realizing that you're doing that in partnership. So I I don't like to get predictive about these kinds of things, but it looks as though Aries is going to be leaving the fire behind in order to move into something that's more stable, that's um, that's more substantial, and has a future, as opposed to the fire of the moment. So I am going to pull two Lenormands because I'm new at this. So apparently, if I'm not mistaken, it goes something like this. Coffin, there's an ending. And then on the bottom, we have heart. So, through one ending, you're going to come into the fullness of an emotionally rewarding partnership that can stand the test of time and that you can truly build a legacy on. And all of the confusion and the swirling tornado that's been around you has been to help you find a way to trust your own better judgment, to find that place of clarity. And from everything that I'm reading from the cards, you're doing this in a very good and sacred way. Straight up, no chaser. And good on you. Pat yourself on the back and move forward in the way that you need to do. So happy June. And I hope the rest of your summer is spent enjoying settling in to your foundation of happiness. Stay in the love, Aries. See you next month.